High rates hurt first-time home buyers the most. This might sound like we are calling water wet, but it's important to understand this when you're trying to develop a strategy, especially if you are one of those first-time home buyers who's kind of stuck in the recent rate uptick. Let's go ahead and get started. My name is Stephen Meade. I am the broker of record here at Domicile Real Estate, where we are on a mission to help California's renters become homeowners. And we're going to walk you through some of the stats to show you how this market is affecting entry-level home buyers in particular. This is our entry-level home buyer market update for Southern California, October 29th, 2024. I cannot believe we are almost at Halloween. And if you stick around to the end, we're going to talk about strategies that can really mitigate some of this and help you make smart decisions, not emotional home buying decisions. Let's go ahead and get ready and jump in. So if we take a look here and we look at our closed prices, right? I want you to take a look at the bigger overall trend here. Something interesting I think is happening is a couple of things I want to note in this graph. So remember, this graph is related to entry-level home prices. This is not a whole market analysis for LA and Orange counties. It's really only talking about 3-bedroom, 2-bath detached homes and then 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos, attached homes, and going at that first quartile of the market. So basically looking at the median between the bottom and the median. And if we look at this, there's a couple broader trends. So number one, if we look back since about May of this year, we've really been kind of watching the market go up and down, but really within the same range, especially if we're talking about entry-level single-family homes. Now, if we talk about condos, we actually see a slight, I would say, downward trend on that. And I think that's important to show that divergence, right? So if you are a value-conscious buyer, you're going to notice that condo market is definitely a little bit softer than that entry-level single-family home market. If we take a look at our monthly payment, and we always have done this to try to design this around real scenarios, right? The person putting 5% down, including the mortgage insurance, including the taxes, based on prevailing interest rates. And one of the things that you'll notice is we're back up at around that $6,500 a month level for that entry-level single-family home. But something that I find fascinating, I just checked this day, there's a brand new apartment building, or rather it's a renovation of a historic building in downtown Long Beach. They have 1-bedroom apartments that are over $5,000 a month. Not direct ocean views, not anything particularly special other than being in downtown and being part of a renovated historic building. In that context, right, when you start looking at that, taking a look at these payments really isn't quite as scary in that context of where rents are. Now, if we look at our total household income required, right, this is based on having no other debt. So this is the minimum household income required. For an entry-level single-family home, that is up to around $159,000, but that's certainly not the most that it's been this year. We've actually seen that number crest $160,000 a few times this year already. If we look down at our condos, that soft condo market means you're only at around $112,000 on that condo, meaning if your household has that amount of income and you have no other debts, you can conceivably go into these sort of first quartile level, entry-level properties with these income amounts. And if we look at our absorption rate, right, this is where we're going to start to see kind of what I think is a particularly interesting trend. So if you look here, you'll see that our absorption rate is actually up a little bit. It kind of flip-flops back and forth between 75 and 80% for that entry-level single-family home, and between 55 or 50 and 70% for that entry-level condo. That means that market seems pretty good, right? That means for every home that is coming on the market, around 80% or that of that number are homes leaving the market because they've gone under contract. So that's really a pretty healthy number in terms of supply and demand being in balance. But that doesn't tell the entire story, and I'm going to go over why. If you look at our total inventory level, you're going to see that that total inventory level for our entry-level single-family homes, which is the red line here, is declining slightly. And it's been flat really for gosh, probably over a month, maybe almost 2 months now, and we're flattening out for those entry level condos. Again, this sounds like really good news. If you're a buyer, right, and if or even if you're a seller too in this price range, this says this is a market that's kind of in balance, but we have a fly in the ointment, and we have a couple of them. Number one is this 14-day still active percentage. So this is another measurement of exactly how competitive the market is, right? And what we're noticing is these homes are taking longer to sell because what this does is this looks at all the homes that came up in the last 14 days, how many of them have gone under contract. And guess what? We're seeing it's not really a high percentage because still, nearly 90% of those entry level condos still remain on the market even after 2 weeks. And I think that's really telling, right? We're seeing that homes going under contract that first weekend, that is the exception, not the rule right now. And if we take another last piece of data, right, like this is really the one that I think kind of hits at home for me. And this is weeks supply of homes. So it does look like the condo market got a little bit better down, at that 13-week level, but not really. Look at how elevated this is. I mean, we were trending right around 10 weeks of inventory. And then if you look at our entry level single family home, you see that we've crested 8 weeks. That has kind of been sliding upward. And so you might be looking at this thinking, well, I don't understand, Stephen. Why is it that we're seeing those absorption rates are strong, but our week supply of homes are actually going up? And what that means is we are seeing the whole market slowing down. And part of this is normal towards the end of the year, but I think a lot of this does have to do with that little bump we've seen in the interest rates, right? It means not only are there fewer buyers, but there are also fewer sellers. That's why our supply demand isn't completely out of balance. That's why we're not seeing prices crash, but we are seeing just the number of transactions, the numbers of buyers and sellers in the market is declining. That is a normal thing to happen as we go towards this end of year. And of course, we've got some maybe election factors, but I really think that this is showing why this entry level into the market is so much more sensitive to interest rates, right? And it's not only the people that are buying entry level homes. Honestly, it's also the sellers, right? Because these are your move up buyers, the people that are going to sell one house and buy another one. So, what does that mean for you if you are a buyer out here and you're looking at this? Well, I mean, I would tell you one of the nice things is we're not at that breakneck pace where every single home, if you do not see it that weekend and write an offer and you're one of 20 offers, we're not in that kind of an environment. And I think it's easy to forget what that is like. And I think we are going to see that kind of an environment again here in the spring. So I think if you're the kind of person who's a first time home buyer, this has always been my favorite time of the year to buy a home. You'll notice the sellers are far more motivated because they usually need to move, and you have a lot less competition in that marketplace. Is this a complete free for all where you're going to get everything you ask for? Not necessarily, and especially if you tend to like the homes that are that most desirable 10% of homes that are getting multiple bids, you're still going to face that in this marketplace. But I would really tell people to look beyond interest rates and interest rates bumps. And the real reason why is because people often forget that if demand pulls back a little bit when interest rates go up, it tends to come back when they fall, right? And that's the flip side of things. I think if we go back to falling interest rates and combine that with a spring, I'm not sure that's the market that I'd want to be buying in if I were an entry level buyer. I'd much rather have this market, right, which is a much more relaxed supply and demand or imbalance type of a market. Anyhow, thanks so much for watching. Questions, comments, we love them. If you are someone who is looking to become a homeowner and you really don't know what to start, which to be honest is most people that we talk to, definitely reach out to us. We're here to be trusted advisors and not salespeople. Contact information is below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you see our future videos. And we will see you again real soon.